Hi, we're here with Hannah, who went in the Bolivia program. Hi, Hannah.
Hi.
Great. So can you tell us about your experience on the Bolivia program?
Yeah, I had a really amazing experience on the SAT Bolivia program. We were based in Cochabamba, and I got really lucky and had a host family that I connected with really well. We had a lot in common, and there were always people around in the house. They also lived really close to the center of the city, so it was really easy for me to walk to classes. Um, so I loved being with my host family and spending time with them, but I also loved the classes and the other people that were in my program. So I had a really great experience with the classes when we were in Cochabamba and traveling on our excursions. It all fit together really well. It was really perfectly suited to my interests in, I'm an anthropology and environmental studies major at school. And then the third part of it that I mentioned is were my peers and my cohort in the SAT Bolivia program. We are a really tight knit group. I learned so much from them. I feel like we grew a lot together as a group, and were able to challenge each other and support each other as we were going through challenging things, learning about such a new place.
Tell us about the director.
Yeah, Heidi was really amazing. She was sort of like a mother to all of us, I would say. Like, she definitely had a lot to offer in terms of the academic side of the program, but also was just a really strong support system, which felt to us to be even more important in supporting us in like the emotional challenges, and also just like the struggling with the ideas that we were talking about every day in the program and our day-to-day lives in Bolivia. Do spend a lot of time talking about like imperialism and colonization, and so as we're struggling with like what does it mean for us to be students from the United States studying and living in Bolivia, Heidi was really always was continuing to challenge us to continue thinking about that, but also supporting us in what could be really like the difficult ways about thinking about that. So she was really wonderful. I liked everything about my homestay family. If my one one of my host brothers had happened to live in Denver, which is where I grew up. So we had like that really interesting, totally unexpected connection. And then also my host family was one of a very small handful of vegetarians in Cochabamba, and I had grown up vegetarian. But overall, I would say that I just found that I was able to connect with them on a deeper level than I think I was expecting to. Going to Bolivia, I think that we sort of had these ideas like everything in Bolivia is so different than what I'm used to, and everyone there is going to be so different. And while that's definitely true, me and my host family had so much in common in so many ways, and in our ideas and in our beliefs. And so we were really just able to connect and like talk about everything sort of. And they really ended up feeling like I was a part of their family. I stayed and traveled after the program, and continued to stay with them, continued to visit them, and so developed a really close relationship with them.
And tell us about your independent study that you researched.
So that was definitely the craziest part of my time in Bolivia, and also definitely one of the most rewarding and memorable. I went to Bolivia with this kind of like crazy pipe dream idea to find and work with coffee producers that sold to Equal Exchange, which was the coffee roaster and provider of the coffee shop on campus where I am a barista. And I was able to find some of the coffee cooperatives that sold to Equal Exchange and make those connections. And I decided, like, I'm going to go for this. This is what I really want to do, even though it's kind of a stretch and like really requires me putting myself out there. But I went and had a really, really amazing experience. I learned a lot, but really came away with so much, and continued the project when I came back to campus, of like having lived with and learned from coffee producers in Bolivia, and then was able to bring it back and present on it at my coffee shop and do a senior capstone project about the work. And so it was just like this crazy, amazing experience that I think without the support of SIT in Bolivia in the semester leading up to it, like I wouldn't have had the courage to do. But I'm so glad I did, because it's one of the most memorable experiences. SAT is unique in that it sets you up with this kind of small little bubble of other students from the United States, which was something that I was really hesitant about going into it. I was like, I don't need to go to Bolivia to spend time with a bunch of other students from the United States, but that's what SAT does. And at least for me, it turned out to be a group of students that I had a lot in common with, but not everything in common with. And so we were able to, as I said, like push each other, challenge each other, support each other to then learn as much as we possibly could about Bolivia, about the place we were in. So I think that even though in other study abroad programs, you might technically like be in classes with other students from the host country and like be more immersed in that aspect, SAT really encourages you to take everything in about the place you are. Like I felt like I was just learning about Bolivia and trying to learn everything about it. And people would even say when they heard all of the different places that we went on our excursions and all the different parts of the country we went to, all these like Bolivians that we would talk to would say like, wow, you've been to more parts of the country than I have. You know more about this country than I do, which we didn't really know more about the country than they did, but it kind of had this in-depth focus on just learning about where we were, and that was really rewarding and amazing and left me with a huge appreciation for Bolivia.
Mm-hmm. Great. And what would you say to someone who's thinking about this program?
Well, I would tell them to do it because I had the best experience on it. But I would also say, like, obviously to go in with an open mind and to be ready to challenge yourself. And I guess the only other thing that I would add that I haven't said is that in addition to Heidi as a program director being wonderful, the staff of the office for SAT Bolivia in general is really amazing. Patty is like the program administrator, and she is incredible, like bends over backwards to make things happen for students. Like when I was planning my independent study project, she can move mountains. That's what everyone always says about her, and it's a cliche, but it's really true. And she cares so much about the students and has so many connections and has been doing it for a long time. And so just, like the program staff in general, aside from just Heidi, is a really supportive and amazing community, and they're so helpful and make the experience